Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do a review of my beautiful Tokai LS129 Love Rock, or if you like, Les Paul guitar. This is a beautiful made in Japan guitar, as you can see here by the very prominent sticker on the back. And that's where, if you're looking for a Tokai guitar, that's where you want to look to see if it's made in Japan. And it's the made in Japan Tokais that are the real premium guitars, and that's what I'd be looking for if you're going for a Tokai and you can afford them. There's a range of different levels in the Japan made guitars. I think the LS129 sits in the middle of those level guitars. So let's have a look at this beautiful guitar and what it offers. The LS129 is a guitar that's made in the format of the classic 57 Les Paul. So that's what they're trying to copy. And as you can see, this one is in this really nice gold finish. But let's have a look at the top. So firstly, with the Tokais, you get the open book style headstock. Very reminiscent of the Gibson. It's one of the reasons I really like the Tokai, is that you really are getting a pretty much one-for-one copy of the Gibson guitars. I won't go into the right or wrong of that, but I just love these. It comes with the Clusen style tuners and the tulip style knobs, which looks really great, and it's probably part of that 57 classic look. Neck is a one-piece mahogany neck. They describe it as a hybrid 50-60s medium size neck, and yeah, it's a good solid neck. Definitely not thin, but also not thick as well. So just a nice Goldilocks style that sits very comfortably in the hand. Now this whole guitar is polyurethane finished. That's why it's kind of the medium to lower end of the Japanese range. The top end ones are all lacquered, etc. But it feels great, and the neck feels really smooth and comfortable to feel. You've got the trapezoid inlays and a rosewood fretboard. Going down to the body, it's described again as a two-piece mahogany. I'm struggling to see where the two pieces are on this one, so I'm calling that maybe a one piece, but anyway, they say two piece. And of course, as all Les Pauls, it's got the maple cap, which is underneath this lovely gold finish. The pickups are PAF Mark II, made in Japan, Tokai pickups. Now I've had a number of Tokais over the years, all of them made in Japan, all great guitars, and the pickups are really nice. They're a really low output, but very much that in that vintage style. So they're really great. If you're really keen, you could take them out and replace them with something better known, but I've really liked these pickups over the years, and I had a ES335 style Tokai made in Japan guitar, and that really sounded great with these pickups. They had the same pickups. These ones are a little hotter than that, they seem, but what I did is I adjusted them down a little bit. That's really improved the sound, I believe. So, but yeah, I don't feel any desire to change anything on this guitar. All the electronics are Goto and Switchcraft, switch. So it is really just a great Les Paul style guitar. These days the Tokais have gone up in price a lot, like everything. So, you know, once upon a time, maybe 10 years ago, you'd pick up one of these at an absolute bargain, but that's not the case anymore. And these guitars are mid-price range guitars. So, you know, you're looking probably, if I was to put it in line with Gibson, I think you'd probably pay the same amount for one of these as you would perhaps a Gibson Studio guitar. So, you know, as it is, that's the case, but you get a lot more, I feel, for this as a guitar with all of the nice trimmings than you do on the Studio. But of course, you're getting Tokai on the headstock and not Gibson, and that's always something to consider if you're buying a guitar and you're thinking of selling it later on. Because the facts are that even though these Tokais do hold their value pretty well, they probably don't hold them as much as a Gibson would. But as I said, I've had a number of these over the years. I've sold them all for one reason or another, as I tend to do with most of my guitars. I move them around and move them through. But I can honestly say that every time I've sold a Tokai, I've always regretted it. And I've always ended up buying another. So I hope this time I can stop that stupidity and just hang on to this one, because the ones I've sold in the past are worth a lot more now than they were when I sold them. So I think hanging on to this is probably a better idea. So there you go, that's the Tokai LS129. As with most of the Japanese made guitars, that comes also with a hard case. I picked up this one secondhand, but it still had plastic on the pick guard and it hasn't got a mark on it. It's a beautiful guitar. So that's what I'd suggest if you wanted to look at one of these guitars, is go for the secondhand market. You get much better value. And I know here in Australia they're come up quite regularly. Don't know what it's like in the States or in Europe. It might be a little different. Perhaps that's one area that Australia finally has a bit of a lead on over the rest of the world, and it's the access to Tokai guitars. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed some of the playing clips there as well, and come back and see what's next on this channel. Cheers.